Yo, welcome back to my 2023 NFL Power Rankings countdown. I am Robert Ferringo of Doc Sports. Today we're talking the number 15 team, the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, close your eyes and think. What's the first word that comes to your head when you think of the Chargers? Talent, right? That's all anybody talks about when they talk about the Chargers. Talent. They have so much talent. Justin Herbert's such a talent. So much talent on defense. So much good young talent. I feel like the idea of the Chargers being a good team is always going to be further ahead than the reality of who the Chargers are. I feel like this was the same thing back in the Phillip Rivers year. Remember the talent they had? Oh, LaDainian Tomlinson and Phillip Rivers and Sean Merriman and all these talent. So much talent with the Chargers. Never turned into anything. Might be the same thing with this group of Chargers. Sure, they got some names. They got some guys that can play. I can dig it. But are they going anywhere? Are they a real threat in the AFC? Look around the AFC. I see a lot of teams improving. A lot of teams getting better. The Chargers aren't in that top tier. They can't compete with the Chiefs and the Bengals and the Bills. Sure, they could beat all three of those teams one Sunday. Can they put it together for 18 weeks? Can they put it together for 17 games? Can they put it together for 3 games in the playoffs if they make the playoffs? They couldn't even put it together for more than one half against the Jacksonville Jaguars in what was one of the all-time postseason collapses last January. Is it going to be any better this year? I say no. And that's why I have the Chargers ranked as a mediocre team. 15 is mediocre. That's middle of the pack. Just outside the playoffs, you're saying 7 teams from each conference. But I don't see the Chargers as a threat. There are a lot of people that have the Chargers as a top 10 team heading into the season. A lot of expectations. Not for me. And the reason why, for me, is pretty simple. They're soft. The Chargers are a soft football team. And you cannot be soft in the NFL. No way, no how. On both sides of the ball. They were number 30 in the NFL last year in rushing yards. Number 30 in yards per rush. Their offensive line stinks. Rashawn Slater is back. It will be better. But when he got hurt last year, that entire offensive line got exposed. Couldn't protect the quarterback, and they absolutely couldn't run the ball. No wonder Austin Eckler is mad and wants to get paid. He's like, you're going to make me run behind that offensive line again this year? No. Pay me now before I get both of my knees blown out. They're soft. They're just as bad on the defensive side of the ball. Okay? They are number 32 in the NFL in rushing yards allowed. Dead last. Dead last in yards per attempt. Teams ran the ball for 5.4 yards per rush against the San Diego Chargers defense last year. Why? Because they're soft. Joey Bosa. Oh, great Joey Bosa, right? He's a great player when he's healthy. He's just never healthy. He's made 10 or fewer starts in 3 of his 5 years. You can't count on the guy. That's a big piece of the puzzle that's missing. They still have some guys that can play, right? Derwin James, really good. Asante Samuels, really good. They need J.C. Jackson to be the guy that they thought they signed last year to his big deal. They need more out of Ken Murray. They signed Eric Kendrick. They need him to be a leader in that linebacking group. But until I see it, I'm not going to buy it with this group on either side of the ball because they're soft. If you can't run the ball and you can't stop the run, that is the foundation of being a good team in the NFL, period. Always has been. It always will be. No matter how much they change the rules to support passing and protect quarterbacks and lead scoring. If you can't run the ball, you can't stop the run the ball, and you can't stop the run, you are soft. Now, I would have these guys actually ranked a little bit lower, probably 18, something like that, except for one thing that I'm kind of excited about with this group, and that's Kellen Moore. The Cowboys made a colossal mistake by getting rid of Kellen Moore. It is ridiculous. The guy had 2 number 1 total offenses in 4 years with the Cowboys, and they're like, nope, see ya. He's taking over. Moore is taking over in San Diego for Joe Lombardi. Did not work out. Worked for him in New Orleans. Did not work out with Justin Herbert. Obviously, Drew Brees and Justin Herbert, two completely different types of quarterbacks. Bring in Kellen Moore. New scheme, new creativity, new ways to get people involved. I'm excited to see what these guys are going to do on the offensive side of the ball. Now, one of the issues, though, is I don't fully trust their skilled players. Keenan Allen, he's had a great career. He's another year older. I don't think you can count on him for 17 games. You can never count on Mike Williams for 17 games. And he's never going to be as good as everybody wants him to be. Mike Williams is never going to be a Pro Bowl caliber wide receiver. He's just not that guy. He's a pretty good number 2. Quentin Johnson, he's a rookie. What are you going to get out of Quentin Johnson? And then Austin Eckler is already bothered by his contract situation. He's fantastic. But as I mentioned, working behind that offensive line, I don't know. Something happens to Eckler. We saw what happened last year when Keenan Allen and Mike Williams were in and out of the lineup. That passing game really suffered. It's going to be more of the same if those guys can't stay healthy, and they really haven't proven that they can stay healthy for the full season, even Eckler. So I like what Kellen Moore is going to do. I don't think it's going to be enough. I think there's too many teams in the AFC that are just still ahead of San Diego. It's also ironic that Brandon Staley came to the Chargers from the Rams as a defensive guy, made his bones with what he did on defense, and their defense has been consistently bad under Brandon Staley. Weird. It's almost like if you don't have Aaron Donald at the heart of your defense, you can't be a great defensive coordinator. Who knew? The Chargers are kind of media darlings also, which is why I'm selling them. I'm not on the Chargers bandwagon, in case you couldn't tell. But Los Angeles has 2 Monday night games, 2 Sunday night games, 1 game apiece on a Thursday and a Saturday. That's a lot of prime time, folks. A lot of prime time means a lot of short weeks. It means a lot of letdown situations. You know, win on Monday, lose on Sunday. A lot of up and down. And I've seen absolutely nothing from this coaching staff or from this locker room to think that they are mentally or physically tough enough to handle a schedule that rigorous. I don't think that they are. They made the playoffs last year. They flamed out as soon as they got there. Everyone is just expecting them to go back this season. I am not. I think Denver has passed them in the West. I think the AFC East and the AFC North are absolutely loaded. At least 2 of the wild card teams are coming from those divisions. Maybe 3 of them. Might have 4 division winners, and then all the wild cards coming from the East or the North in the AFC. Not a lot of spots left. Chargers aren't going back to the playoffs, I don't think. And I think it's going to cost Brandon Staley his job. And we'll see where the talent on this team goes from there. But I am 100% taking the Chargers to go under 9.5 wins. I don't see them getting there, and this might be one of my favorite futures bets at the NFL this year. So, all right, that's it for today. Be sure to check back tomorrow for the next team on my list. Until then, carpe diem and good luck.